All right, let's move on to one of the big ones, and this is why someone like us would kind of uh, decide, no, I'm not going to vote for him. And I actually, there's two
Okay.
issues: his handling of the COVID-19 virus and the riots, and they kind of run into each other. But I guess we'll talk about COVID
Yeah.
19 first. Um, I mean, I've criticized on here his handling of it, although
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess let's start at the beginning back in January when he was tweeting about it back then, and he had that normal Trump positive tone where he said, "Okay, this is happening in China. We're doing this and this to make sure this doesn't happen." And she is doing a great job over there, but we're going to make sure to protect Americans. And then,
Yeah. He stopped the travel
yeah,
from
that's
China.
the first thing he did. No more travel for China. They're doing great. We're doing great. We're going to make sure it doesn't come here. And that's what he said. That's what he did. When he did that, every
Yep.
other politician poo-pooed him and said, "Yeah,
Criticized. Yep.
they were all talking." I think,
Including
yeah,
Biden, by the way.
they wanted people to go out and hug Chinamen for some reason. It was kind of bizarre. It was
That's
weird.
gross.
Um,
That's gross.
Pelosi was saying go party at the New Year's thing on Chinatown or whatever, and someone else had said something like find a Chinaman and hug him today, something like that. It was weird. The He's got advisors, and they're telling him one thing, and he knows what he's seeing. And he's seeing the same thing we're all seeing. He's seeing that in other parts of the world, there's a strange virus, seems to be killing more old people than young people. And it seems to be spreading pretty quickly. And it's hospitalizing a lot of older people. That's what he's being told. That's what he's seeing. Now they're telling him, shut the
Yeah.
nation down. What you got to understand is that he never actually shut the nation down.
No, exactly. And I mean, he, as a matter of law, doesn't have the power
Right.
to do that.
So what he did is talk to all the governors, and he seemed to be for the notion of shutting down the states for, I think originally we said 2 weeks. It had a very specific purpose. The hospitals are about to get overrun, and we need to stop that from happening because the hospitals are not prepared for that many people, all needing respirators.
Right.
That's what we were told.
And in the meantime, he moved mountains to get the hospitals the equipment that they would need to handle the
Right.
theoretical onslaught of respirators.
So
and other
many
things like
people
that.
forget that point, or don't see it because it was actually hidden from them by the media or by the governors.
Yeah, it's not like Trump was out there, I mean, he throws his tweets out every once in a while and stuff, but it's not like he's out there calling a news crew every time he does something to accomplish something for the common good. He's too busy working for that to bother calling news people.
Yeah, I mean, but he stepped up the manufacturing of things like respirators and masks, and he was not just him, but the American people were betrayed by a lot of American companies like 3M. He had a contract with 3M. They were supposed to, I think they were supposed to deliver a bunch of masks, and suddenly they didn't deliver them. And he said, "Where the hell are our masks?" And then he found out they had sent them to China. I think that's what happened.
Oh man, that's a big one. China bought. They went around the world buying up all the masks. And now all the masks that everybody's buying to wear now are coming from China.
So, and it
makes you scratch your head.
Places like New York, he sent Navy ships to places and created giant military medical complexes to handle whatever people needed. And they were...
like COVID NASH units
they
or
were
something.
Unused. They didn't get used.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, not billions, but millions of dollars spent creating these centers, like taking I don't know, like venues, like concert venues or sports venues, and turning them into these big centers. And then
the Duke Convention Center here
going
in Cincinnati,
unused.
That was set up to be a medical center. It was never used. None of it, ever.
Yeah, that's same story in multiple cities across the United States. The whole, and then you've got the news reporting as though it's dire numbers. Things like, ICU at this hospital running it at 87% or something like that. Capacity. Not bothering to report that normal. The norm for these ICUs is more like around 96%.
They try to keep them almost
like
at 100%. That's how they design the hospitals, so that there's always that they're always full. That's how the hospitals make money.
That's why if you go into the ER, you might be in one of those little curtain drawn rooms in the ER, for 18 hours before you can actually get into a room.
They're set up that way. That's how they make money. And so if they're filled to capacity, that's good. But guess what?
Yeah.
Thousands of hospitals were well below capacity because they stopped seeing people. And a lot of people died instead of going to the hospital. We don't have numbers about
out
this,
of fear. I don't want to go to the hospital. That's where all the COVID patients are.
Anyway, that'll get me off on another tangent because the whole thing bothered me so much. Because from the start, I thought...
Okay, but we're talking about Trump's handling it.
I thought the way to handle it would be to not shut down for 2 weeks, to go ahead and open up for 2 weeks and work harder.
Ramp up American manufacturing of the stuff we need to handle.
That's what I thought we should have done.
That's what we should have done. I mean, why not? There's... How many craft beer bottling places are there throughout the United States? Why couldn't we have said, hey guys, we will make federal funds available to you to manufacture, bottle, and send out hand sanitizer?
Well, they did. A lot of them did.
I mean, what, craft beer places? Actually,
a lot of microbreweries come to think of it, making hand sanitizer.
Okay, well, in that case, that goes further to my point. But that's the kind of thing that we as Americans should expect to do. We roll up our sleeves, we get it done. And we should have had that outlook through the entire thing.
But instead, Trump kind of agreed to, okay, let's shut down for a couple weeks to flatten the curve. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Flatten the curve.
Yep, I remember. Flatten the curve for 2 weeks.
So we flattened the curve.
Which turned into 4
it ends
months.
up there was no curve.
All summer, doggone
We pretty
long.
much had a flat line. There was no curve.
Yeah.
They keep playing with the numbers.
People laid off. Businesses gone under.
Every day,
small businesses.
I hear about the number of cases going up. I hear about the number of deaths going up. But honestly, how many people do you personally know who had trouble with COVID-19? I know more people who died because of the laws and the restrictions concerning COVID-19 than who died from COVID-19.
Yeah.
I know there's 2 people just in our extended family who died because of the COVID-19 restrictions.
Yeah, not because of COVID-19, but because of the reaction to it. The insane reaction to it.
The laws that Mike DeWine made. They weren't even laws. They were orders.
I was going to say let's even be careful and let's just call it what it is when it comes to these governors. They're not laws. They're
like executive orders for the state.
Presumptions. They're governor executive orders, and they're presumptions of power, which if they were challenged constitutionally and we could get a few of these all the way to the Supreme Court, I think we'd find that a lot of them are being, would end up being, oh no, you weren't allowed to do that. But the thing is, by the time that happens, it's all going to be passed anyway. But the things these governors are doing, I mean, the emergency powers these governors have are in place to allow the governors to do things like coordinate personnel and that kind of stuff in order to handle emergencies. They're not meant to give them legislative powers over what Americans are allowed to do. And what the citizens of their states are allowed to do and not do. It's not that kind of power, and every governor who's out there presuming to do that is probably violating the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of his state.
Every single time the murderer Mike DeWine was challenged in court, he lost. Every single time. And he still keeps his thumb down on our state and keeps twisting and twisting.
But people should ignore him.
I wish I ignore him. I wish other people would. But I couldn't ignore him and go to the nursing home to see my aunt, who was...
because they wouldn't let you in.
I couldn't.
And she died. Most probably, I mean, okay, by this time, she probably would have passed
she
away.
had another 3 months, maybe.
Yeah,
but it turned into 1.5 weeks.
She did not have to die when she did.
She didn't have to die alone.
That was because of the restrictions.
Scared, not understanding
without family.
Why she was there. She thought she was in prison.
Yeah, there's no way that she understood why nobody was coming to see her.
She thought she had been abandoned by everyone. And the nursing homes... I don't know if people really understand how bad nursing homes are in America right now. They are very bad. They are killing people. Vicky talked to a guy who delivers medical equipment to these nursing homes. And Vicky was angry because they had done some certain things, like left her in the shower. And this was supposed to be one of the better nursing homes. And this guy who delivers medical equipment says, you don't understand. It doesn't matter. They look nice. They're private ones, public ones. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. They don't have enough people, and they won't pay their people enough to care. And people are dying right and left because of negligence. And that's a whole other subject again. But
it is. But the bottom line is, Trump could have pushed the governors the other way. He could have.
And after 2 weeks, he did start pushing. He said, hey, we got to open up again. We can't just stay shut down.
Guys, we got to open this. And boy, oh my, the flack
he's going to kill people. He's going to kill 2 million people. Oh my gosh. The idiotic predictions that were made, they were just stupid.
Yeah, nonsense.
And the fact is, again, it's the governors doing it. He cannot control the governors. All the governors who opened up completely had great results. And all the governors who are still shut down 4 months later are having terrible results economically.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess he could declare martial law. He could do that, but I don't think this is a situation where he should.
But how would that? I mean, first of all, it wouldn't really. I mean, the real powers regarding that would have to do more with things like insurrections and stuff like that. But how would that even work? Declaring martial law. It's okay. We're going to send in the army to make sure that the county board of liquor licensing doesn't revoke the licenses of the bars that open. Stuff like it. It's not even clear how it would work. So,
and he's been pushing for the schools to open up.
but
He's been pushing for businesses to open up.
what I don't get is why he didn't fire Dr. Fauci.
I think it's a Trump thing. Trump will not admit to a past mistake.
Oh,
He just won't.
It's just, this is what we're doing going
Yeah.
forward. But yeah, it could be.
I don't know if firing Dr. Fauci would have helped at all anyway.
Would have made it different. Yeah, it might
He
not
said,
have made
well,
it
okay,
different.
I'm encouraging
No.
people to shut down for 2 weeks. And that's what he did. After those 2 weeks, what did Dr. Fauci matter? I mean, Dr. Fauci wasn't making changes in the states. The governors were doing that. And Dr. Fauci would have kept talking.
That's true.
Because he was getting a microphone and all the media was focused on him and he was loving it. Him being hired by Trump wouldn't have mattered. Here's the thing. We're thinking about it the way we think about it. There's still a group of people out there who think that COVID-19 is
He should have shut down more. Yeah.
I don't know what to say to those people. Look,
Yeah, the second panic is still in play. I've always said COVID-19 is two panics.
Yeah.
There's the panic over the virus. That's the first panic, which is itself a real panic and is much more dangerous than the virus itself. And then there's the panic over appearing to have not acted regarding the virus. And that's where the governors come in, and a lot of the governors succumbed to that panic.
I think maybe that's what happened in the beginning.
That's why I call it a panic.
But I think a lot of these governors are just enjoying the power. Look,
that's scary to think.
Governor DeWine, look, he's a wuss, and he didn't stand up for the rights of Ohioans. But we're 4 months into this. We know about the virus now. He's not worried about appearing to care. He knows he personally caused the death of many people, especially old people, especially people who are at an age where they would have voted for Trump. He caused those deaths personally.
But, yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I also know that he's going to try to stop us from voting. I'd bet my left arm on that.
What do you think? He's going to try to shut down the polls?
He did do the primary.
Make it so that it's onerous by saying everybody has to stay 6 feet apart?
He shut down the primaries. And how many...
did he?
Apparently there was a vote. I didn't know about it. And maybe it was like an absentee. I don't know what it was. But something happened, and a bunch of issues got voted through that shouldn't have been voted through.
Oh, wow.
I think he's going to try to stop us from voting. I really do. And I think a lot of
we'll see what
Democrat governors are definitely going to try that.
Looking for the same, looking to try that.
I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. The thing is, Trump is doing everything he can to, number one, calm the nation. Because the nation is panicked right now, and they're panicking needlessly. Number two, to try to get the economy moving again. He can only do so much. He can't force the governors to open up. Governors to open up. Governors to open up. Governors to open up. Governors to open up.